So the basic point is that even in its heyday, neoliberal growth was accompanied by an increase in poverty and increase in absolute impoverishment. Today what is happening is that, of course, that increase in absolute impoverishment continues, even gets accentuated because of inflation, but additionally you find that the crisis is spreading to the middle class as well, which earlier was a votary of this neoliberal regime. But when it is spreading to the middle class does not theorize it or think of it as if it's a crisis of neoliberalism, as if what you need is something else. What the middle class is theorizing it as is in two alternative ways. One is that we need strong neoliberalism. That means we need a regime that is strong. They think that the crisis is not because of neoliberalism, but because the Manmohan Singh government's weakness in pursuing neoliberalism. So therefore they want a Modi. They want a strong, authoritarian person who would actually pursue what they call governance and therefore, in a sense, recapture the period of that boom. That is kind of one way in which the middle class reaction is, that what we need is really authentic, hard-nosed neoliberalism. And the other kind of opinion in the middle class is that what we need is clean neoliberalism, corruption-free neoliberalism. And that is what the Aam Aadmi Party and so on stand for. They too don't see the crisis as a crisis arising because of neoliberalism, but they see it also as a crisis which arises because there's corruption in the economy, there's a lack of, proper people, dishonest people and all the rest of it. And therefore, if you could rid the economy of this kind of corruption, if you could have a clean economic policy, and clean economic policy, since there is no critique of neoliberalism, one has to necessarily conclude ipso facto that the clean economic policy is nothing else but clean neoliberalism. And therefore, you have at the moment a situation in which the entire political space is taken up by votaries of neoliberalism. We have the Congress on the one side, that is Manmohan Singh and crowd. They would like neoliberalism, they are the ones who brought it, and they would like to pursue. You have the Aam Aadmi people who would actually not like to overthrow that neoliberalism, they would like a clean version of it, corruption-free. And finally, you actually have the votaries of Narendra Modi who would like a really tough, hard-nosed neoliberalism, something which would actually really appease the corporate segments to an even greater extent than the current government is doing. Therefore, all the various alternatives being talked about, at least in the bourgeois media, are alternatives which represent in one way or the other a neoliberal alternative.